Welcome to the Dailey Duo Podcast. I'm Scott Dailey.
And I'm Deniene Dailey.
And we are the Dailey Duo.
We're recording from lovely Lewis because this is where we live, sell, and play every single day.
Every single day. And darn it, if this isn't going to be the best 20 minutes of entertainment that you can pay for here in Lewis. Actually, It's free.
It's very free.
So listen, welcome to the Dailey Duo Podcast. This is our first episode. You are here at the groundbreaking. You're here where it all started. If you're watching or listening to this episode, and we're so glad you're here. We are here to share what we know and live and love about the Delaware Beaches area. We're going to be doing that through podcasts that are going to come out every week. We have a amazing slate of guests lined up. So occasionally we have some guests, and occasionally it's just the two of us. And it should be a very entertaining and edutainment.
Edutainment.
That's a word. A little bit of education, a little bit of entertainment. And we are sponsored by Dailey Dailey Real Estate. We are the Dailey and the Dailey of Dailey Dailey Real Estate. And we're so glad you're here. And we're going to jump into it. What are we talking about?
Okay,
Episode 1.
We're going to talk about Lewis a little bit because I love Lewis. I think Lewis is such an amazing town. I mean, I love living here no matter what. But we're going to talk about Lewis a little bit and talk about Deniene's favorite picks.
We are. And we're also, in this episode, we're going to talk about us and our origin story, how we came to be. Who gets to tell that story?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both of us, isn't it?
That's fair. That's very fair.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Are we starting from the beginning?
Yeah, we have to go back to the beginning.
All right. Well, there we go.
Leave no stone unturned.
So where did we meet, Scott?
We met in Washington, D.C. Actually, that's not technically true. We met in Bethesda, Maryland,
Yes.
just over the line outside of D.C. For those of you that are in the Washington, D.C. area, hello. You should move here. The quality of life is much better. We know some realtors that could help. Funny how that works. Smaller taxes, just indeed, saying. On just about everything. So anyway, we met in Bethesda. We both worked for a Christian youth organization called Young Life. And where were you living at the time and working?
I was living in California, where none of my friends actually knew that Delaware existed.
Right. And I was living in Lewis, Delaware, which is just about 100 miles east of Washington, D.C., for those of you that are geographically challenged. And so
Sorry.
She laughs because, are you geographically challenged, honey?
I mean, if I'm in a mall, I am not geographically challenged. But, you know,
it's like
every
Deniene's
once in a
way
while.
of saying yes, but I'm never going to admit it. That, yeah. Anyway, we'll just.
Women are never wrong.
Wow. So, there you go. If you learn nothing else this episode, you learned something. So she was living in Southern California. She grew up in a town called Glendora, which you can Google, which has this lovely place called Granburger, which maybe we could talk about. We get to Deniene's picks, and we've covered the rest of the United States. We'll get over to Glendora, and we can talk about Granburger. It's a wonderful thing. If you're in Glendora, go to Granburger at least once, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And they didn't even pay for this. Gosh, how about that? Anyhow, so we met, and it was a little bit of an interesting situation because we really first started talking because Deniene has this tattoo on the inside of her left ankle. Ankle's better. And we're sitting in this class. We're taking this class, and the class is pretty boring.
Super boring.
And so at the end of the class, I had seen the tattoo, and I couldn't quite figure out what it had written underneath it. The tattoo had writing. And so I walked up to her and I said, "What's your tattoo say?" And what did your tattoo at the time say, honey?
It said autumn.
It said autumn. And I said, "Hey, you like the season?" And what'd you say?
I said, oh, gosh. I just felt the anguish, right? Because, you know, here I am, like the only, Christian girl that is not married at this conference. And I'm like, oh, gosh, now I have to tell the story about how I have children. And I was like, it's Autumn. It's my daughter's name.
It's her daughter's name, which, you know, again, in the Christian world at the time, being a single mom was uncommon.
Divorce is weird.
And so anyway, the next day I went up and I said, "Hey, do you have any pictures of your kid?" And she says, "I have 3." And she just keeps staring at me. And I was like, "Well, of course you do. This is, we've been married for a while. So this is like the pre-cell phone. People had cell phones, but it was, if you carried pictures of your children in a wallet. I know for some of our younger listeners, you're going to find that absolutely fascinating. And then you're going to go out and buy a film camera so you can like do it, like the generations below, like they're into records. Like we all dumped our records because they sucked, and we got tapes, and then we got CDs, and we dumped our tapes because they sucked. And now, millennials and younger people, all they want to do is all the old stuff that we couldn't wait to get rid of. But I'm not judging. And so anyway, she said, "I have 3." And I think she means 3 pictures, but she really meant
I have 3 kids.
3 kids.
And so I looked at him and I said, "I actually have 3 kids." And he gave me that face.
Yeah, we can't say the O.
Yeah, we can't say those words.
We can't use those words.
The O poop face?
Yeah, something like that.
You know what that word
I
means.
was a little surprised.
And I was like, run, just run.
Right, we weren't that
it.
old. This is not a common thing in
I'm
the
like
young
28.
life world. Right, so that started the process, and that was in the spring of 2001. And we were married in the fall of 2002. So this led to that, and we're still married. Look, we're here on the podcast.
Nothing but bliss and like butterflies and rainbows. I mean, hello.
And unicorns. Don't forget the unicorns.
Oh, don't forget those.
Gotta have the
or
unicorns.
the Happy Hands Club.
Happy Hands Club. Napoleon Dynamite 2004.
Sorry, we just watched that yesterday.
We did. Great film. So when we met, I started not too long after working in real estate. And because the Young Life gig didn't pay enough to be an instant father of 3, which is what I became. Down the road, I would adopt those kids, and they would be our kids.
Yes.
As time went by, and we decided to raise them in Lewis. And what a great experience to kind of grow up in a small town.
Oh, it was a wonderful experience. And I will say 100%. Like, we moved here, and Hunter, our youngest, he was on the front page of the paper within, I don't know, what was it, a month?
It was a little longer than that, but yeah.
But for an apple bobbing contest.
Right. That puts us in a fall. You apple bob in the fall, you moved here in the winter.
Front page, though. And I thought that was so amazing. I was like, wow, they really actually care about kids, families, people.
And a lot of the area's grown, but it's still a small area where you kind of know lots of people, and you go out to eat and you run into people you know. And we both grew up in suburban atmospheres. Glendora, California is really an LA suburb. I grew up in Rockville, Maryland, which is just outside of Washington, D.C. I was born in Sibley Hospital. And so neither of us are locals. I've only lived here for 27 years, and I was told early on that 30 is, so I'm close. I've almost
Gosh, I'm only 25.
Right. So I've got a couple years. I'll be a local for a couple years before she will, Lord willing. And so I got into real estate, and then mostly land development. And that's where sort of some of my background is a little different than a lot of realtors. Is we worked on commercial development. We worked on apartment projects, low-income tax credit housing deals, and residential subdivisions. And then all while having my real estate license. Along the way, I started a couple of different home building companies and got into understanding and new construction and designing houses and building and all the processes behind that. And a lot of life circumstances happened, and I ended up really working full-time in real estate. And Deniene, you got your license in, I think, about 2015. But before that, you were involved with property management, right?
Yes, I did property management first. And that was an interesting challenge in itself. But I kind of learned it, and I learned the ins and outs of that and property management and just people in general. And but I did enjoy it, and I do love people. Well, I mean, of course, some people suck. Come on, let's not admit that. But finding the perfect property for people is like, it's like my favorite moment of any moment of all. So I kind of like moved from property management into real estate, and I love it. Like, it is so fun to find the perfect find for somebody. They tell me one time, they're like, oh, I want a 3-bedroom, this and that and that and that. And then I'm like, no, that's not what you want at all. And then we walk through the house, and then I actually figure out what they actually want. And I get to, like, take the puzzle pieces, because I love puzzles, and put them all together the way that they're actually telling me.
That is a fascinating story.
Yes.
And it's really neat that you have a passion about that. And I think it shows when you're out there working with people. And then what do you always say my job is? To come in and do what? Finish
the job. I mean, you're the paperwork person. I'm the people work person.
Right. I'm also the one that she sends into, so I can tell the client everything that's wrong with the house.
Oh, definitely. Yes. And he will, and which is great. Like, he's so wonderful at going, hey, yeah, there's a reason why that roof is like that and this and that. And we work so great as a team, which is awesome. And I love that, because it's very odd to have two people that actually can see something on such a broad picture.
That's right. So she comes in and she finds your dream home, and I come in
and destroy it.
And I crush your dreams. And that's just part of the process, right? It's very emotional, but then it turns into a business transaction, and there's home inspections and home warranties and financing, and all these things need to get done.
Yes.
And one of the things that's nice about being a small real estate team, being a boutique agency, is that we're going to walk you through that, and you're going to get a lot of communication and not just feel like you are just a cog in the wheel of a big operation.
Exactly.
So that is something that we're passionate about, something that we have some knowledge about. And because we've lived here so long, we understand the area, we know the neighborhoods. What was the biggest, this isn't really a fair question because this area has changed so much, but when you moved from the LA suburbs to here, what was one of the things that was most surprising for you?
Well, okay, the first thing was there was not a place to get coffee. And so I was like, where do I get coffee?
There was one decent coffee shop. You had to go to Dewey Beach.
Yeah, you did. You had to go to the Lighthouse. And if those of you that remember that, you had to go to the Lighthouse, which is no longer there. And there was kind of like a brouhaha half, whatever.
Which is like a local coffee house.
Yes. And so that was the only place that you can get Starbucks. And that was it. And I was like, oh, jeepers.
How are we going to live without coffee?
Right? And so I learned to and I was like, where is like a mall?
There's no mall.
I'm sorry, Dover Mall's not a mall.
It's not really a mall. But that, people don't need malls anymore. And that's one of the things that's changed.
That is very true. It's very much changed that way.
The other thing that my brand new wife discovered is speed limits. And that when you go into these little small towns, they throw up these 25-mile-an-hour speed limits, and they mean it.
They really actually do.
Like 28's a ticket. I did
get 3 tickets in the first year.
Just schlepping through these small towns, and they just drop the speed limit.
25 is really 25.
It's arbitrary. 25 is pretty slow.
I was literally going 29, and that seems so strange.
Busted.
Bam.
Busted. So this area has really come to be home for us.
Funny. Yes.
And it has its own quirks. This place loves a good parade. The traffic can be a little miserable in the summer, and we'll talk about that in future episodes. And the area is also really grown. And so when we first were down here, and it was the off season, not a lot of stuff was open. Now in the off season, there's all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
And all the wonderful restaurants, which we will be speaking about in detail and having guests on in future episodes, a lot of them run specials in the wintertime. And they don't close, but they open and there's deals. So if you're locals, you can have a lot of wonderful opportunities. And we just find that the people are generally friendly. We can tell when somebody's driving and they have out-of-state tags before we see their out-of-state tags. But when you come here and you just recognize that, the life that I had in the suburbs of D.C. or when I was out of college, I lived in the suburbs of Philadelphia. It's not suburban life, and that is a selling feature. So, sometimes things get a little crazy here, but there's always something fun to do, and it's a different style of fun. What else, honey? Any other thoughts?
Oh, I totally agree with you on that part. And just the lifestyle is so much different here than it is in say like Baltimore or like DC, where you're just in the hustle and bustle of just being watched constantly. And it is funny when people do move here and they're like, it's so busy. And I was like, is it really? No, it's not. Because every time I go back and visit my dad in LA, I am panicked because of how fast paced it is. And everyone's in a hurry and no one wants to stop and listen to you. But like, I go to the market at any of these markets and people
That's
will
a
stop.
supermarket or a grocery store for you East Coast people?
LA people call it a market.
Right.
Anyway, but they will stop and they will talk to you and literally just be like, oh, gosh, have you been there? Have you been there? And it just seems like a community, you know, and I'll talk about more things later on in the episodes about like the greatest places to go, whether you're into art or whether you're into food and you want to be a foodie. Like, I can share all that information with you, and I love to do that. That's like one of my favorite things.
I want to be a foodie.
I mean, and I love to share, and I want you to share with me. So maybe this can be a great connection.
Right. So one of the other things that is going to be a core of this podcast is being responsive to our audience.
Yes.
And so if you have something that you would like us to expand upon or discuss or anything like that, follow us on Instagram at the Dailey Duo Podcast. And send us a message, leave it in the comments of one of the reels or pictures that we post, or send us a DM and say, hey, I'd love for somebody to talk about this, or, you know, I'm thinking about moving to the area, but one of my big questions is, you know, what am I going to do with my doctors? What am I going to do with estate planning? Stuff like that. If those are questions that you have, we want to be able to get you the answers and be a resource.
Exactly.
Because if you're thinking about moving here, we think that's a great idea. We did it, and we have zero regrets. And if you're going to do it, it would have been great if somebody would have been around to show us the ropes. And so we want to be there. We want to help you find your place and help you settle into that place.
We want to bridge that gap for you.
And so that's going to be an important thing. So reach
whether
out
you
to
want
us.
to play pickleball or, you know, ride a bike, we want to help you find the best place to do whatever you want to do.
Place
or maybe
to
you want to
that.
sit on your butt on the beach. We don't care.
Right.
But we want to help you.
And
we
you
actually do care. Sorry.
Have a wonderful team. We're a team.
Yes.
Do you feel the teamwork and the love here?
Teamwork makes the dream work. Right?
Teamwork
Isn't
makes
that
the
what they
dream
say?
work. That's what somebody said.
Anyway, I don't know.
That's it. And so that's why we're out here on this podcast. What is your favorite thing about being married to me, honey?
My favorite.
Listen, I'm just
Oh, wow,
dropping
that's
these now.
straight
Man.
up
We're
off the
freestyling.
cuff.
Yeah, come on.
My favorite thing about being married to you. Oh. Ooh. You always
Shouldn't take that long.
point out the funnest qualities about myself.
Oh, thank God you're not getting that close to the microphone, so maybe they can't hear you. You want to expand on that?
Oh no, you do though. You're nice though. You're good at like showing me
I'm nice.
where my qualities are good and how I need to expand on those qualities instead of, you know, wallow in those qualities sometimes, because you know
Okay.
we can.
What's the worst part about being married to me?
You never pick up your socks ever. They're everywhere.
She's not wrong.
And empty boxes in front of trash cans. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand.
That's totally made up. I have no idea.
Yep.
What she's
Anyway.
talking about.
But hey, we all can't be
But the
perfect.
socks thing, that's a thing.
It's a thing. They're everywhere.
Everywhere. 1 or 2 pairs a day.
Mhm.
I mean, literally, we don't have carpet. We just have my socks.
Shut up.
Okay, that's not really true.
It's not actually true. I would freak out.
So listen, this is episode 1 of the Dailey Dailey Podcast. I'm Scott Dailey.
And I'm Deniene Dailey.
And we're so glad you're here. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the future episodes. Let us know what we should be talking about that you want to hear about.
Yes.
All right? Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for listening.